My name is Jethro Tulin, and I'm an indigenous Ibili from the islands of Papua New Guinea. For myself and my fellow Ibili, life, as we know, have changed dramatically. When a huge gold mine started operation in our place in 1989, we are largely a free cash economy before the mine. My generation is the first to learn English, and in our community, are still illiterate. We saw the first white people in the late 1930s when missionaries and prospectors came into our mountains. Now we are dealing with many problems we could never imagine. I have to tell you frankly that the real serious human rights abuses and environmental degradations that we are dealing with are not the results of modern industry coming to a remote and tribal place. We know that we are experiencing problems that are a result of mining practices that are not best practices and that would never be allowed in Canada. Yet, this mine was owned and operated since 1990 by Placer Dome, a Canadian company, and it has been owned and operated since 2006 by Barrick Gold, another Canadian company, and the largest gold mining company in the world. When the Papua joint venture mine started operating, a decision was made to dump millions of tons of waste, rocks and tailings directly into our environment. The bright red mine waste from the processing plant flows straight down the mountains and into our 800-kilometer long Strickland River system to the sea. The independent studies that were conducted in the mid-1990s found the concentration of metal such as arsenic, lead, silver, cadmium and nickel were already so high as to cause concern for long-term ecosystem effects. The massive waste rock dumps that were engineered to move like glaciers and emptying themselves in the same river system are flowing through two valleys, steadily wearing away the steep sides of the ridges of the land between them. It is on this land, surrounded by waste dams and around the open pit and along the tailing stream, that the traditional landowners of that place, belonging to 7 clans, still live. But the loss of agricultural land and the land for houses are a result of steady mine and waste dump expansions, as well as land erosions and contaminations of our water, has made subsistence agriculture unsustainable. In February of this year, Norwegian Pension Fund Global decided to divest of over $200 million worth of shares in Barrick Gold as a result of waste disposal practices at the Papua mine. The fund's Council of Ethics concluded that the company's agitation that its operation do not cause long-term and irreversible environmental damages carry little credibility. This is reinforcement by the lack of openness and transparency in the company's environmental reports. Now, more and more families have to leave from gold they extract from the waste streams around the mine, the tailings and the waste dumps, and from contaminated creeks and rivers, even from the open pit itself, and from the stockpile. They use mercury to extract the gold, and most have little or no awareness of the dangers of mercury, allowing even the smaller children to handle it regularly. In addition to all of these, allegations of rape, beatings and killings of community members by the Papua joint venture security guards have been common over the past 10 years and more. So in 2003, I started a grassroots human rights organization called Akali Tank Association, together with family members of victims of the security guards. We started to document and report the incidents of killings and assaults and rape. We gathered police reports and statements from witnesses and family members, as well as post-mortem reports. By 2005, we compiled this into a document called the Seeding Fields of the Papua. And then we used the internet to find organizations like Mining Watch Canada to send our documents. Media interest in the issue led to Placer Dome admitting to killing 8 of the community members by PJB security guards and police. Eventually, enough pressure was put on the government of Papua New Guinea that it did an investigation of the killings at the mine. The government report was concluded in 2006, but has never been released. Another key document in this regard is also been kept confidential. It is the 2005 agreement between the government of Papua New Guinea and the Papua joint venture mine regarding security arrangement at the mine site. In the meantime, the traditional landowners represented by the Papua Landowners Association are calling in Barrick Gold to relocate all the families living within the mine's special lease areas. They have concluded that it is no longer safe for LT to remain on the traditional land. Barrick seemed keen to move all the families to to accommodate a planned mine expansion and even hire an international consultancy firm to contact and interview needed to prepare for relocation. The firm finished its report in June of 2007, but because of the cost of the relocation plan, Barrack decided to only move smaller group of people directly affected by the mine's operation. Finally, I have been telling you about the issues that they have been going on for a long time. I now have to tell you about what is going on in Papua. Even as I am here speaking to you, in March of this year, the government of Papua New Guinea decided to deploy a military and police force to Papua to deal with what they call tribal fighting and illegal mining around the Papua joint venture mine. According to newspaper reports, Barrack's new CEO and President Aaron Regan, who arrived in Papua New Guinea just weeks before the action started, was assured by our country's Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Mining, Dr. Puka Tamon, that our government is committed to dealing with illegal miners at the world-class mine. And according to news reports, that the Papua joint venture mine manager, Mr. Mark Fisher, indicated that he welcomed the proposal, call out of troops and supported them in a way he can. On April 18, 2009, more than 200 troops, including 4 mobile units and an air tactical unit and intelligence officials from the PNG Defense Force, were deployed into Papua in an operation named Operation Eagle 209. And last week on April 22nd, while I was already in Canada, I started to receive reports and picture images indicating that the military and the police were burning down the houses of landowners living near the mine. News reports indicated that some 300 houses had been burned down and people who reside were arrested. I am very concerned for the safety of the traditional landowners. I am also worried that this action will be used to clear them off the land to allow for expansion of the mine without fair compensation to the landowners. It may be difficult for you people in Canada to understand all these things. Why our government allows such massive environmental destruction, such serious human rights abuses, and even its own military and police to perpetrate more human rights abuses against its own people. The only way I can explain this is to say that Papua New Guinea is a very poor country, and that relies far too heavily on natural resource extraction to cover up our national budget. Government simply does not have the degree of autonomy from these multinational extraction companies that it should have to properly regulate them to international best practice standards. In Papua New Guinea, companies such as Barrack are operating in a zone of effective impunity. It is for this reason that I am here before you now to plead with the government of Canada to do much more to insist that your companies operate to the best international standards and to all your companies to account here in Canada when they breach these standards. It is for this reason that I support the passage of Bill C-300, which is currently being studied in a parliamentary commission. Thank you.
Thank you, Jethro.